Maggie Burke, and I'll be telling you about the rise in local music in Stillwater and the opportunities it offers new artists.
I'm Caitlin Seiler, and this week I'm going to tell you what's killing the motivation of college students.
High risk and high reward are common phrases when investing. But what about Bitcoin? I'm Kelsey Briggs, and I'm here to tell you about how Bitcoin can impact you and your family.
Coming up, you'll get to hear about the European Super League and why it had some fans ready to box away their entire soccer fandom.
Hello and welcome to News OSU for April 27th, 2021. I'm Maggie Burke, and thank you for joining us. No one can deny that it has been a hard year for everyone, but one of the most affected groups might be college students, whose mental health has been at risk since trying to complete their usual coursework under COVID-19 limitations. According to the National College Health Assessment in 2019, over 80% of college students feel overwhelmed with all of the things they have to do. 40% of these students said they felt so depressed that it was difficult to function. Caitlin Seiler took a closer look behind the statistics and the common phenomenon amongst college students called burnout.
Stress is a feeling all too familiar for college students. College life comes with balancing schoolwork, extracurricular activities, social life, or even a job. But what happens when it all becomes too much? Burnout is a term being used to describe what many college students, especially graduating seniors, are feeling around this time of year. College burnout refers to an extended period of extreme fatigue that often results in a decline in academic performance. OSU University Counseling Services counselor Amy Adams says the pandemic has had a significant effect on the intensity of student burnout.
All their normals are totally flipped upside down, and where all the in-person stuff that they're used to going to and maybe being able to participate in for their last year, they're not able to do and stuff. And
at the beginning of the school year, many students feel eager to begin their coursework. However, as the year drags on, students may go from feeling energized to feeling unmotivated, disinterested in their schoolwork, and keeping up their GPA. The effects of burnout can trickle into a student's social life, mental well-being, and physical health. Some symptoms of burnout include losing interest in social and academic activities, having trouble meeting deadlines, and feeling a lack of motivation to carry out daily tasks. Graduating senior Heidi Roseborough says it has been difficult to keep her motivation going these last few weeks of school.
It's a little hard to be motivated right now. I feel like I'm trying to get by with all my schoolwork instead of trying to go above and beyond to get really good grades.
Some tips to reversing the effects of burnout include seeking help, eating well, getting exercise, getting adequate sleep, and spending time outdoors. For News OSU, I'm Caitlin Seiler.
One way students at OSU have been able to relieve some of the stress and burnout is music. Almost everyone has heard of Garth Brooks getting his start in Stillwater, but the impact the town has had on local musicians goes much further than one person. I followed the sound to see what other artists might be getting their start right here in Stillwater. 5 to 10 years ago, Stillwater saw a large drop in local music compared to 20 to 30 years ago, but the flame is being relit. Stillwater was once known as a stepping stone to Nashville. This is what brought Trent Fletcher to Oklahoma State University 3 years ago when he was looking to advance his music career. Fletcher is now a host to 3 open mic nights in town and has made it a goal to help local music make a comeback.
It's pretty cool. There's a lot of energy right now, and I think the most people I've had sign up for open mic at Willie's was 18. It's just a really cool way to discover new younger guys and gals that are playing that otherwise may not have even crossed your radar. It's pretty cool to see it all happening and unfolding. There's just a lot of energy, and Oklahoma's about to explode with music.
Stillwater gives new artists the opportunity to perform in more places than just their living rooms, with 3 to 4 open mic nights per week all across town. The Tumbleweed in Stillwater has seen huge bands such as Chris Ledoux, the All-American Rejects, Jason Boland, and many more get their start in years past, and their goal is to keep this tradition alive. The famous concert hall is home to events where locals can perform at an open mic night, all the way up to large music festivals that bring in well-established artists. Up-and-coming musicians are vital to the goals of the Tumbleweed.
Like 3 years ago, it was a little bit discouraging and disappointing because I just felt like, man, where are these guys? I mean, I need somebody, including myself, to build these guys up. I mean, I enjoy booking Oklahoma acts. I love booking Stillwater acts. And 3 years ago, it made me nervous. Now I'm seeing a movement. It's exciting for me just to see that, because that's what, when I was in college, I got to watch.
The opportunities and support offered in Stillwater are important for the future of the music industry and helping artists go from open mic performances to playing at Calf Fry. For News OSU, I'm Maggie Burke. We have breaking news at this hour. The CDC has updated their mask guidance. They now state that fully vaccinated people can now unmask at small outdoor gatherings or when dining outside with friends from multiple households. As of Monday, April 19th, adults over the age of 16 are eligible to receive a free COVID-19 vaccine in all 50 states. Make sure to make an appointment at OSU's University Health Services to get your free vaccine before finals are over. Since 2020, investing and trading in cryptocurrency has been on the rise. What most individuals view as a trend has now become a hot topic of discussion for investors and governments across the globe. Bitcoin, a new form of digital money with an unknown origin, has taken the world by storm. Investing in things like Bitcoin is right at the touch of your finger, but it may be incredibly difficult to find or afford any Bitcoin with only 21 million coins in circulation, and each coin worth over $53,000. David Carter is a professor at Oklahoma State University and says people are attracted to the currency due to the lack of government regulation.
I think a lot of people really do find the idea that it's not a governmental, nation state currency attractive, that it sort of transcends that. There'd also be a downside as well if governments decide to prohibit it and make it more difficult to trade or more difficult to transact.
Bitcoin's value rose for over 500% from April of last year. The increase came from people investing and trading the currency during quarantine. Cryptocurrency provides an opportunity for individuals to have more personal wealth with less restrictions from the government. Individuals who are interested in investing, trading, or learning more about cryptocurrency can check out apps and websites like Robinhood or Coinbase. A lot of people had crazy ideas during the nation's lockdown a year ago, but one Arizona college student made his quarantine dreams a reality last week. 22-year-old Josh Swain made a Facebook group chat with everyone sharing his name that he could find and challenged them for the fight to keep the right of the name. That eventually turned into a massive event, drawing people from all over the nation to take part in a giant pool noodle fight. The event ended up being for a great cause, as attendees of the brawl donated 200 to 300 pounds of food for the Food Bank of Lincoln and raised more than $8,000 for the Children's Hospital and Medical Center Foundation in Omaha.
Oklahoma State fans got their first glimpse of the 2021 Cowboy football team when it competed in its annual spring game last Saturday. Now, for many years, you really couldn't call what OSU did a spring game. More like a glorified practice with a 2-minute drill sprinkled in here and there. However, head coach Mike Gundy decided to give the fans a show with an actual game between the Cowboys. Quarterbacks Spencer Sanders and Shane Illingworth led the orange and black teams respectively in two 20-minute halves. Sanders has been OSU's starting QB for the last 2 seasons, but Illingworth was undoubtedly the game's MVP. Illingworth threw for 2 touchdowns, including a massive 61-yard TD to Rashad Owens. I know there's no I'm just saying this week, but I'm just saying Illingworth made a case to become the starting QB in the fall. Other than Illingworth, freshman Jaden Bray had a great performance as he caught 2 touchdowns for the black team. This was the first time fans have ever got to see Bray compete in a Cowboy uniform, and boy did he impress everyone. Gundy says the new additions at wide receiver, including Bray, put in a lot of work during spring football.
You could see the results today. They could feel their way around the game a little bit, and it wasn't so new to them. So I think if you watched all the positions, really the only positions that we have that didn't get what I would consider a full load of work would be quarterbacks, because there's only one of them on the field.
Moving down the road to O'Brien Stadium, the Oklahoma State baseball team dropped 2 of its 3 games last weekend against the Texas Longhorns. The Cowboys lost 2 close games during Saturday's doubleheader, 4-3 and 5-2 respectively. However, the Bats came alive on Sunday as the Cowboys notched 3 home runs to defeat UT 7-3. Looking forward to this weekend, Bedlam Baseball is back in action this Friday when the Cowboys play their second home game against Oklahoma. The first game in the series was played last month, which saw the Cowboys win on a walk-off single by Caden Trinkle. Saturday and Sunday's games, however, will be in enemy territory as the Cowboys will travel down to Norman to face the Sooners. And in other news, the soccer world was shocked last week after 12 of Europe's biggest clubs announced plans to form a Super League. David Moore explains what happened to the Super League and why it failed.
Last Sunday, soccer experienced the ugliest 48 hours in its history. 12 of the most prominent clubs in Europe made an announcement of their plans to form the European Super League. This league intended to be a closed-off competition reserved only for the richest teams in an attempt to make more profit for themselves. These elite clubs were hit heavy financially from the pandemic, and the billionaire owners sought any way to recover. The announcement of these plans was done without warning and without the approval of FIFA or UEFA, the governing bodies of soccer. Imagine if 12 of the biggest teams in college football suddenly announced that next season they were leaving their respective conferences to form their own super conference. That would mean no more bedlam, no more college football playoff, and an end to so much history. The Super League announcement broke the hearts of many lifelong fans and really only left them with 2 options. They would either have to stop supporting the club they've loved for years or fight back to reclaim it. Fans, pundits, players, FIFA, and even British Prime Minister Boris Johnson decried the idea of the Super League. Roughly 48 hours after its creation, all 6 English Premier League clubs involved made statements that they were leaving the Super League. On Tuesday, the league was officially suspended. Not everything is solved. John Holden is a professor at the Spears School of Business who studies sport corruption and issues with sporting governments. Holden says he could see this idea to solve financial issues return in the future.
There's a lot of push to find a way to solve continental Europe's financial soccer problems. This isn't going to go away. It'll come back in another form, and maybe with a little more political skill in sort of bringing it about.
For now, the suspension of the Super League is a testament to the power of the people and the fans. The billionaires of these clubs thought they scored big, but in reality, they missed the mark. For News OSU, I'm David Moore.
The Oklahoma State men's and women's tennis teams competed in the Big 12 championships last weekend. The Cowgirls and Cowboys were seeded 5 and 4 seeds respectively in the tournament. However, they didn't make as big of a splash as they surely wanted. The Cowboys won a close match against Texas Tech that came down to the third set for Henrik Korsgaard. The senior won 6-1 in the last set to send the Cowboys to the second round, but were matched up against Texas, which is ranked second in the country. It was a sound defeat against UT, losing 4-1. And for the women, well, they were matched up in a postseason bedlam against OU, but were handed a 4-0 sweep. Not the ideal scenario for both teams, but both fought hard this season to be in the national ranks. Remember, the Oklahoma State baseball team will face the Sooners on Friday at 6 p.m. and head to Norman on Saturday and Sunday. I would say we'll have more on that next week, but sadly, this is the last episode of News OSU Sports for the semester, as well as my last show during college. So, signing off one last time, this has been News OSU Sports. I'm Joseph Fazio.
As Joe said, this is our last broadcast for the spring 2021 semester. We relaunched our program as News OSU in January. This was part of our commitment to bring you the stories that impact the OSU community. We want to thank you for joining us each week. We wish our graduating seniors nothing but the best. For the rest of us, good luck on final exams, have a fun and safe summer, and we will see you next fall on News OSU.